Smith is our marketing analyst this week. As of this taping, corn and soybean markets were continuing to struggle in regaining some of last week's losses. Overall crop conditions remained largely unchanged from the last progress report, but in Nebraska, the gap between irrigated and non-irrigated corn is continuing to widen. Irrigated corn conditions rated 78% good or excellent compared to the average of 74%, while dryland corn is rated only 40% good or excellent, 24 percentage points lower than the average. As a large chunk of Roy's home area of Plattsmouth is non-irrigated, we started our discussion Thursday morning by asking about the current crop and moisture status.
The moisture situation's pretty desperate. Actually, it's been over a month since we've had a substantial rain. We did have 8 3/4 inches of rain from the end of May to the end of June, so there was some subsoil moisture, and actually the corn and beans still look pretty good. They are dry, but the corn is pollinating, the beans are blooming, and so we just don't need any more hot, dry weather right now.
The last time we talked was towards the end of June, and you had sold out of corn and soybeans, so last week probably wasn't as tumultuous for you as it was for others, but how do you think the market has responded this week?
Well, first of all, one of my rules of marketing is never hold corn or beans, cash corn or beans, past the 1st of July. And as you say, I was out of them by the time we did this the last time.
I tapped your bins just to make sure,
okay,
too.
Yeah,
I did.
Okay, no surprises.
No surprises.
So, you know, that principle has held true for me for many years. Very seldom does it cost me money. In terms of the new crop, I don't have any new crop sold. That right now, that looks like a mistake. Like maybe we should have sold a little bit, even though the price wasn't where we wanted it to be. But you know, that's one of the parts of this marketing game. Sometimes you just don't get it the way you'd like to have it.
So are you aggressive trying to sell into that now, or are you waiting for a bit of a rebound?
I'm waiting for a rebound. This week I updated my long-term seasonal charts in corn and soybeans both, and soybeans especially, but also corn to a certain extent. From about now until around the 1st of September, we usually see a fairly good rally, what I call the frost scare rally. And actually that runs from about the 25th of August to the 10th of September. So if you have anything that needs to be sold, especially what I'm saying is new crop corn or soybeans that are going to go to the elevator at harvest time, the next month is the time to look for a rally and maybe even a little bit of a bump in the basis, because the old crop basis has been awfully good. The new crop basis is so-so. I would hope that the new crop basis would maybe give us a little bit of a rally as well.
What are you seeing? You also mentioned before that maybe December would be a place that the market or the charts might show a bit of a rebound.
On the long-term seasonal chart, we really see 3 relatively reliable price peaks. One of them comes in April, May, and June for new crop. The second one comes this last week in August, first week in September, what I call the frost scare rally, and then starting with the harvest low, which is normally around the first week in October, we get a gradual up trend that I call a dead cat bounce, and that for sure is a time to be making some sales. Whether or not you've got some already forward priced, that is a time to make sales, because normally the basis is improved. Normally we get a little bit of a rally in the futures market, and the bonus is you know how many bushels you got because harvest is over.
There is that frost scare that's already out there. If you read a lot of market analysts, there's a little blurb about it that maybe there's some trouble, not necessarily here in Nebraska probably, but maybe as you go further east to some of those fields that were later planted. If you had old crop, would you hold on to it to try and find something there?
If you have old crop, you're going to be playing Russian roulette with the market, and yes, occasionally you'll see, like as in 2012, you'll see that market rally all the way into the first week in September, and then from there on also, and people who stored grain all the way through the summer and had it to sell then did pretty well. That's about a 1 year in 10 type of strategy, and I hesitate to recommend anybody to do it. You do it, but understand what the risks are.
Do you assume that there's going to be both a big corn crop and a big soybean crop?
Well, right now that's what the market is telling us, and we had that period of time in the earlier spring when we had a lot of rain and rain delays in planting and you name it. Very rarely does that cause a permanent positive effect in the markets. Now, it's very encouraging to me that already the analysts are starting to talk about what you said about the possibility of an early frost, because sometimes the crop is far enough along this time of year that nobody worries about the frost because it isn't going to happen. But this year, an early frost would be devastating to somebody that had corn that maybe hasn't started to tassel yet, or beans that haven't started to bloom yet. They don't need an early frost, and if we get it, then there could be a lot of excitement.